Very good morning, all of you. We have seen different types of methods of asexual reproduction. Now, in which we have seen roots, where roots were a part of reproduction, or roots were used by the plant to grow, complete plant to grow, where roots stored the food. They were the storage structures. Like you can take examples of sweet potato, beetroot, like that. Okay. Now, another part in which stems have buds on them. Example is onion, daffodils, and strawberries have stems that can start new offspring. So that is all based on stem. Yes, you would have seen. Now these are runners, runners like which are spreading on the ground. Rhizome, the bulbs, onion or garlic you can say, the corm, the tuber, onion, the sucker. So these are different parts in the plant which are the stem part and which are acting as a reproductive, the part of organ of reproduction for these plants. Now, in some plants, there are leaves from which reproduction takes place. Like here, you can see at the notches, the small, very small leaves are growing. Now, these leaves at the bottom, you will see here, at the bottom, there are very small roots. These roots are called as adventitious roots or aerial roots because see, if they are in the leaves, they are not in the ground, they are in the air. So they are also called as aerial roots or adventitious roots. So when these parts of the leaf or the small part of this falls on the ground, as they get support of the ground or the soil, the roots they spread, they grow, and the plant grows completely. So especially it happens in bryophytes. Bryophyllum is the group of plants where the plants grow by this method or reproduce by this method. Then here, see, this is the example again given. When the leaves touch the ground, new plants develop that grow into independent plants. They can also cut and plant it into new plants. So in one leaf only you can get many plants from each different notches. Now, another method of vegetative propagation is called as grafting. You would have seen this grafting, how you do for especially flowers, rose and all. So grafting is a method of artificial reproduction again. Yes, it is. You will not even say completely asexual. You should also say it is artificial because this is done manually. In grafting, the shoot of the plant, shoot means the part which is above the soil. The shoot part of the plant is joined to the root of another plant. The diameter of the parts are joined as has to be similar. So here you can see this diameter of this part and this part should be similar. And the upper part is called as scion and this part is called as, the lower part is stalk. As they are similar in diameter, they can be, you can say, clubbed or attached to each other and then wrapped and waxed so that no air or no barrier kind of thing is there. It is completely packed so that it grows properly. They both are cut diagonally and placed facing each other. They are then taped and left to heal with time. Heal means what happens basically. See, there are so many vessels like xylem and phloem, you know. So all have to get connected. Healing means the in both the this scion and the stalk, both should get connected so that whatever is the plant is getting from the roots should be passed on to the upper part of the plant. Yes? Is it getting clear to all of you? This is vegetative propagation and a simple thing, so I am going a bit fast, students. So now next method of vegetative propagation is layering. Layering is another way of artificial vegetative propagation. In some plants like raspberries, the stem can be bent and buried in the soils around the plant. After some time, adventitious roots means the aerial roots which can grow first in air, they develop off the stem. This part of the stem is known as the layer. The stem can then develop into a new plant. So this is called as layering. So the best example is raspberries. If ever you get a chance to visit Mahabaleshwar or Panchgani, you can see, especially raspberries, mulberries, strawberries. Most of them, these berries are grown in that way only, layering on the ground, spread on the ground. You would have seen ever. Then, next method of vegetative propagation is tissue culture. It is also another way. Tissue is scraped from the parent plant. It is placed in special growing medium under certain conditions. So this is done in the lab. Many of you would have seen. It is not a very natural process. So tissues is taken out and it is grown in a certain medium, which that medium has got all the nutrients for the cell to grow. And so it is done in the lab. It is given nutrition until it grows big enough to be planted into the soil. This method is used for ornamental plants like orchids, chrysanthemum, asparagus, etc., as we can grow healthy plants. So these kind of plants will not easily grow anywhere we want. So for them, the initial stages of their growth has to be good. So nutrition is given to them, they are grown in the labs and then planted in particular pots with good nutrition. Now, what are the advantages of vegetative propagation? We have seen different types of methods in asexual reproduction, right? So what is the benefit? What is the use or what is the good thing about this? They bear flowers and fruits earlier than those plants are grown from seeds. Because if you are growing from seeds, don't know if they are getting the complete nutrition or not, the exact amount of nutrition or not. Yes. So the plants which are grown by vegetative propagation will bear the flowers and fruits earlier before the plants which are grown just from seeds. And we can make the plants that have lost the capacity to produce seeds reproduce. So we can induce those things by giving hormones in the nutrition. Yes, the plants are genetically similar enough to have all characteristics of parent plant. Now, another method of asexual reproduction is spore formation. Now, if you have seen a stale bread, purana bread which is left over, you have kept it like that. After few days, 3-4 days, you will see black spots over it. What is that? It is actually a fungus, and the name of that fungus is rhizopus. And it reproduces in this way. Now spores look and act like seeds. Spores are acting like seeds here, but aren't actually seeds as they don't come from flowers or fruits. So where are they coming from? So for that you have to know the structure. This is what it looks like under the microscope. Look at the fine thread-like projections. These thread-like projections you can see here. There are many thread-like structures. They are called as hyphae. Hyphae, hyphae. Now, can you see the black knob-like structure at the top end of hyphae? Can you see these black dot-like structures? They are called as sporangium. You must know this structure. Hyphae, the thread-like structure, and round bulb-like structure is sporangium, and inside this sporangium are many spores. Many spores are there inside. So sporangium contains spores. Spores are responsible for reproduction. You can see this diagram. See here. So many dots has the spores. See, many dots, these are the spores, and this bulb-like thing is sporangium. Singular is sporangia and plural is sporangium. And these thread or stick-like structures are hyphae. Yes, please keep this diagram in your mind, important one. Now, the spores are really tiny and minute. The sporangia bursts open and spores are released into air. So, how does this sporangia or sporangium burst? Is it like a cracker? Someone is going and bursting. What will happen? How will it burst? Do you have any idea? Have you seen mushrooms? Mushroom is also a kind of fungus, right? Have you seen mushrooms growing very dry wood or in deserts? Have you seen? No, damp and moist surrounding or climate. Similarly, that is what happens in case of sporangia also. For a certain period of time, they remain intact. But as soon as they are mature, grown enough, and they get moist climate or damp, see it's written here, they land on food or soil and it is damp or moist, new fungus can grow from them. Once they are mature, they burst open, and as it is moist, as the atmosphere or the climate will be moist, it can easily grow into a new fungus. I'll just show you from the book also. You can see what is given about asexual reproduction, regeneration, the fragmentation. Here, regeneration, you can underline, okay, in vegetative propagation also. So here, the yellow part indicates what are the benefits. What are the benefits of vegetative propagation? Okay, and then the spore formation. Your tissue culture is here. Please go through tissue culture, spore formation, the same diagram. The diagram is detailed in your PPT. Please refer to that diagram. Okay. Now in this page number 133, we have to see this question. Question number 1. How does binary fission differ from multiple fission?
So, ma'am, in binary fission, the parent divides into two. So means in total there are just two parts are formed. But in multiple fission, the parent gives many daughter cells. So instead of just two, many of them are there are many daughter cells. So
Many
that
daughter
is
cells are formed. Okay, correct.
yes.
Now, let us see what is given in our PPT. So, PPT also answers are given. So, here you can see. And earlier, I think in your class I have said or not, whenever you are differentiating something, students, anything, if you are differentiating, always write in the tabular form and give examples always. So binary fission, first point, parent splits into two new organisms. Multiple fission, parent splits into many new organisms. Binary fission during normal situations, and this is unfavorable conditions. Example is given, amoeba, paramecium, multiple fission, plasmodium. Simple.
And for binary fission, Leishmania sulfation.
Leishmania also you can write, correct. Leishmania is also correct. The next question, question number 2. How will an organism be benefited if it reproduces through spores? How will an organism be benefited if it reproduces through spores? See here, the answer is given to you in points. It will be good if you elaborate these points in your words. Don't just copy word to word as given to you. So first point is spores have hard protective walls. So yes, spores have very hard walls. Easily it cannot be bursted, or easily it cannot reproduce in any condition. So it needs specific condition. So it can stay dormant for long periods. Dormant means inactive. They can stay inactive for long periods. So until the time they get favorable conditions, they remain dormant or inactive. So can wait for conditions to be favorable for germination. And last point, it increases the chances of survival of the species. So please elaborate this answer. Don't write word to word. Then third question. Can you think of reasons Why more complex organisms cannot give rise to new individuals through regeneration?
So, the reason why organisms cannot reproduce in regeneration, because multicellular organisms are not just a collection of cells, and then all body cells do not have that capacity of reproduction, and growing back in the entire organisms with all all the system and organs from a single body part, so it is not available, or it's not possible.
Yes. So in complex organisms, especially, they have specific organs for performing different functions, and so the cell type will be different. So just one part of the body cannot reproduce and create different types of cells to produce different organs to perform different functions. Right? I hope this concept, the basic concept, is clear. Why they cannot reproduce through regeneration. Here you can see the answer. Again, it is given in points. Please elaborate in your words. Don't copy. So multicellular organisms are not just a collection of cells. Cells organized into tissues, organs, and then organ systems at certain locations in the body. Growing back the entire organism with all those systems and organs from a single body part is thus not at all possible. All body cells may not have that capacity of reproduction either. Yes, I hope this question is clear to all of you. The next question is, why is vegetative propagation practiced for growing some type of plants, like we have seen, especially for ornamental plants? It has some benefits as it is faster than the normal way to get flowers and fruits. Plants can have all characteristics of parent plant, and plants that have lost the capacity to bear seeds can also reproduce this way. So how is it done? By giving them a proper amount of nutrition, or if they are lacking some hormones, hormones can also be given to them. This question clear? Then last question number 5. Why is DNA copying an essential part of the process of reproduction? Give me this answer. DNA copying is important because it has information as to how the organism works. Like if it loses DNA, then it have genetic problems. See, we cannot say it loses DNA and then will have genetic problems. There will be some errors or some sequences missing in the DNA, and in that case, they can have some DNA problems, some genetic problems. Okay, so let us see what is given to you. So these points are given. DNA contains chromosomes. All of us know that, right? Which contain the blueprint of the organism. This defines all the characteristics of organism. So it is essential for an organism to have DNA. So what does this mean? A cat's DNA will not match a dog's DNA, right? A cat's offspring will be a kitten only. Means a kitten will have all the characteristics what a cat, the adult cat has, right? So that is basic the blueprint, and that is the thing which defines all the characteristics or the features which an organism has. Okay. The third point is, so copying DNA is essential for new organism to inherit a blueprint from the parent to parents. So inheriting of characters, how it is said, like in the beginning only we discussed. If someone says your eyes look like your father or hair like your mother, so that is what the characters you are inheriting from your parents, right? Is this question clear to all of you? So we have seen these questions. Please go through the textbook. Please go through the paragraphs, whatever given to you. After this, we will start sexual reproduction. Now, in Till now we saw asexual reproduction, in which only single parent was involved. In sexual reproduction, two parents will be involved, a male and a female. Yes. So when two parents, that is a male and a female, are needed for reproduction, it is called as sexual reproduction. Especially in case of human requires a male and a female, hence it is a sexual reproduction. There are certain special organs in male and female and special processes that bring about reproduction. So we'll get to know about the organs and we'll understand the process. So first we'll see how it happens. I am not telling only about human beings or animals. Sexual reproduction is also in plants. So it is about plants and animals both. When reproduction happens, you know that DNA has to be copied. You also know that DNA copying is not always perfect. There is error. Yes, we have seen when there are errors means there is variation, and variation mostly are good. Variation are good for survival, isn't it? And sometimes some changes can be seen in the daughter cells. These changes bring about variation in the child as compared to the parent. And in case of sexual reproduction, there are two parents involved, as we have already seen. With two parents, does the child have double DNA? First, tell me the number of chromosomes in in our body. Number of chromosomes will be 46, or you can say 23 pair of chromosomes. Okay.
23 pairs of chromosomes.
So always it's 23 pairs, in which 22 are your normal chromosomes and one pair is 6 chromosomes, that is X and Y or XX, that you will see later on. Okay. Coming down. So the number of chromosomes cannot change, else the child will not be similar to parents. So how do parents create a child that has single set of chromosomes? So what happens? Suppose this is a father and a mother. Yes, father has 46 chromosomes. Mother also has 46 chromosomes. Number of chromosomes I am saying, right? Number. So 23 the child will inherit from father and 23 from mother. So in total, yes, in total the child will get 46. Correct?
Yes, ma'am. But I didn't got that
Yes.
the first paragraph. No, the number of chromosomes cannot change.
Yes, I was just explaining it a further. Okay, let's move on. So cells that are involved in reproduction do not divide like other body cells. So our other body cells are dividing differently, and as I said, the cells which have sex chromosomes, they will divide differently. So they have a special way of dividing. You will see the difference here. These are normal cells. In normal cells, you will see here one part from this chromosome, one part from this chromosome. In two daughter cells, you have obtained. Yes? In case of reproductive cells, you will see only one chromosome or one set you can see, only one set, not the double. Yes or no? Can you see this difference? Yes, here you can see it is it is a set, means it's a pair of chromosome. Here you will see just one
Green and
chromosome, isn't it? So multiplying or dividing of reproductive cells is different as compared to normal cells. From this picture, it is understood. Coming down, the daughter cells of normal cells have same number of chromosomes as parent cell. Here you can see 2 and 2. Yes, here in parents also they had 2 and 2. Yes, but in case of reproductive cells, Here, if you see, it has 1 and 1, 1 and 1 parents. Now, daughter cells of reproductive cells have half chromosomes. As I said, see, it was not pair, it was one only. Half chromosomes of the parent cell. So, this cell can unite with other cell like this of the opposite sex. Such cells are called as germ cells or gametes. So, the reproductive cells, the cells which are used which are used for reproduction, are called as gametes or germ cells. Have you understood till
Yes,
now? In normal cells,
clear, ma'am.
pair aa
Yes,
raha
ma'am.
tha, and in reproductive cells, it was just the half. You were not getting a pair of chromosome, just single chromosome you got. Yes? So I hope till now you people have understood, and we'll continue the remaining tomorrow.
If you like our videos, do share them and subscribe to our channel. If you want awesome quizzes, write to us. Keep watching and keep learning with Walnut.